Hello and welcome back to the Out of Spec Podcast. Ford says that only 20% of Ford drivers, EV drivers, use Tesla's supercharging network. Let's talk about it. So, Ford released a news article breaking down the rollout of their Ford NACS adapters. Ford was the first company to announce that they would be not only adopting NACS, but introducing adapters that will allow current, at the time, Ford owners to use Tesla's supercharging network. That's select Tesla Superchargers, over 20,000 chargers across North America. And they've shipped over 139,900 and I think it's like 80 of these adapters. So 140,000 of these adapters by the time you're watching this. And those are complimentary. Those are free adapters. Now you have to reserve those if you have a Ford vehicle. I believe the time is still within the time now that you can just order the adapter. I believe new Ford owners have to buy the adapter. Let me know if that's correct. But you can charge your Ford EV, your Mach-E, your F-150 at Tesla's supercharging network in North America. That goes for the same of, Rivian, General Motors, GM, Volvo, Polestar, Nissan, Mercedes-Benz, the Lucid Gravity with native NACS, as well as the Hyundai Ioniq 5 with native NACS. And soon we'll be getting the full rollout of with the Lucid Air with a native NACS as well as with adapters, the Ioniq vehicles, the EV Kia vehicles, Genesis, Jaguar Land Rover, Jaguar with the I-Pace, Land Rover with their new EV, which hopefully at this point will have native NACS, but we'll talk about that in a second, as well as BMW. And then after that, we're going to see Stellantis, Toyota, Volkswagen, and Honda get access later this year as well. And so soon, pretty much almost every legacy large automaker will have access to Tesla Supercharging Network, and that's great. Whether you like Tesla or not, Tesla has the most reliable, the most robust DC fast charging network in North America, not only private, so just for Tesla owners, but public as well. So they have the most public, and I say public because it's still closed to a certain subset of automakers, but the biggest public DC fast charging network as well. And let's kind of break down more of this article that Ford comes out with. So as Ford's Director of Charging and Energy Services, I know how this concept of unlocking access has been central to our team's mission for both current and future electric vehicle owners, because this initiative was more than just sending out adapters. It was a sign of our commitment to delivering a seamless charging experience away from home and making it easier than ever to confidently go electric with Ford. We're proud to share that we have fulfilled our commitment to deliver complimentary adapters. Every complimentary adapter reserved by our U.S. customers has been shipped from customer reservation 1 in Austin, Texas, to customer reservation number 139,936 in Waukegan, Minnesota. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly for those in Minnesota. We are truly grateful for those who have charged with us and patiently waited for us. I believe Rivian is kind of on a similar route. Of course, they don't have 139,000 EVs to deliver NACS adapters to, but I believe it was Rivian originally said that by the end of February, they would have shipped out every single NACS adapter to current Rivian owners. And then at that point, if you get a new Rivian delivery, then you would just get your adapter within 2 weeks of delivery shipped to you. I know some people get them at delivery, but for most people, you're going to get them shipped to you. So same thing for Rivian. Most owners, if not all at this point, have NACS adapters. Same thing with Ford. But let's actually just jump into the stats. I'm not going to read this entire article to you. All right. It's a lot of marketing, oh, we got access to Tesla Supercharging Network with our Blue Oval program. Look at us crush this NACS adapter, which was made by Electron, and look at us IP test our NACS adapter. Yeah, we get it. Now, to the actual stats, Ford says that most Ford EV owners are within 18 miles of a DC fast charger. So your average Ford EV owner, F-150 Lightning, Ford Mustang Mach-E, you're just within 18 miles of a DC fast charger with Ford's Blue Oval network, which includes plug and charge, which is crazy. You have access to 40,000 chargers, 40,000 sites, thousands of stations where you can plug and charge your Ford. And that's amazing. Now accessing more than 20,000 Tesla Superchargers, actual stalls. That's up from 15,300 in the beginning of 2024. So 20,000 superchargers. In fact, Ford says that their busiest month with these adapters was February. So just February was their busiest month. We're in March. So when March ends, March will probably be their busiest month. And they say growth has peaked right this year. So, I mean, this past month, February 2025, was Ford's biggest month using Tesla's superchargers. They said the holiday season was the most amount of charging sessions that they've had within a simple time period. And February was also the best ever charging reliability for Ford owners. So February was a pretty good month. Now, here's a stat that kind of jumped out to me. Ford says 20% of all Ford EV charging sessions now happen at Tesla Superchargers, which we hear this talk of, I admit it, I've been one of those people. We need NACS. There needs to be native NACS. Well, most Ford owners have a NACS adapter, and they're not using Tesla's supercharging network. Now, most people are going to be charging at home, but when they do DC fast charge, they're not using Tesla's supercharging network. There are plenty of reasons for this. Part of this being that Tesla Supercharging Network is more expensive. It's definitely not competitive unless you have the membership. So you can buy the Tesla Supercharging membership. You're going to get the same price that Tesla vehicles do at Tesla Superchargers, but it's more expensive in a lot of situations. For me, for Florida residents, you're probably familiar with FPL, Florida Power and Light. They are the biggest energy provider for the state of Florida. Ironically, they just don't sell energy in Tallahassee, but west and east of me in Tallahassee, Florida and Power Light has chargers, and they provide energy. Very reliable, great speeds, 500 amp cables, great, like perfect. But it's only 30 cents at FPL for me. 30 cents versus a Tesla Supercharger, even with the membership, would be anywhere from 32 to 40 cents. So at that point, it's like, why even go to a Tesla Supercharger when I can go to FPL? I don't have to interrupt stalls. Yeah, I don't have to bother anyone. It's just an easier process for me. Now, Tesla Superchargers are very convenient, right? There's been times where I want to charge, I want to stop at a certain exit, but there's no CCS station, but I want to go to this rest stop. Well, there's Tesla Superchargers there. I can charge and get food. It's become convenient. And there's times where I don't have to stop early to charge because there's not another charger for the next 50 miles. Or I can go even longer and push my state of charge to just 2, 3, 4, 5% because there is a Tesla Supercharger. So Tesla Superchargers are great, but 20% of Ford owners using them means they're using EVgo. They're using Electrify America. They're using Iona. They're using BP Pulse. They're using Mercedes. They're using all of the other networks out there, they're using those. And so this kind of poses the question to you, maybe we don't need to see the rollout of NACS as quickly as people initially anticipated. Now, I know native NACS is great. You get access to Tesla Supercharging Network, but you're only getting access to the same Tesla Superchargers that non-Tesla vehicles would be able to get with adapters. So whether or not you have an adapter or you have native NACS, you're going to be charging at the same stations. And whether or not you have native NACS or CCS1, you're going to use an adapter. At some point, you're going to want to charge at a CCS1 station, believe me, even if you have native NACS, and you're going to want to use it. You're going to have an adapter to use. And then for someone like me who has a CCS1 vehicle and I want to charge at a Tesla Supercharging Network at some time, I have a NACS to CCS1 adapter. So regardless of whether you have native NACS or not, you're going to end up using an adapter. Now, native NACS is coming very soon for a lot of automakers, especially a lot of automakers later this year, like GM and Rivian. But initially, a lot of people wanted to see native NACS like mid-early 2024. And a lot of people were complaining, myself included, hey, when are we going to get native NACS? Hey, when are we going to get native NACS? But it just never happened. And so we ended up getting CCS1 vehicles. And maybe that was a better decision, because if most Ford owners are still using CCS1, even though they have NACS adapters, that tells me regardless, they were going to, with a native NACS or not, they're probably going to continue to use CCS1 adapters. Or it could be something psychological. People don't want to use the adapter. They don't want to deal with taking up 2 parking spaces, 2 stalls. They just like using CCS1. So maybe if they did get native NACS, it would almost entice them to use Tesla Supercharging Network. But in this case, with adapters, they're still using CCS1 and not native NACS. It just creates this interesting dichotomy of it all. Why are people doing that? Why are you doing that? Why are you continuing to use CCS1 stations like me, For me, it's price. But why are you doing it? And are automakers waiting a good time to introduce native NACS in their vehicles? Are they taking too long? Or controversial, should automakers wait it out? We see Tesla expanding their version 4 post and version 4 sites and stations with actual 1000 volts charging. So it'll be great for the high voltage vehicles. And so Tesla's continuing to expand their public DC fast charging network, but is it at the pace of which it's worth removing CCS1 for NACS? Are we moving too fast? Are we at the right pace? Or should we just wait it out? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Isaiah, and I will see you guys in the next one.